everyone. Thanks for coming out today. It's quite the crowd. Happy spring semester. For those of you who haven't been here before, my name is Talia. I'm the president of FPTO. Surrounded by me on all sides of the room are our lovely executive board. If you haven't met them, please go say hi. They want to meet you. We just won't go over reintroductions today because we have some exciting things happening today. So before I pass it over to our guests, I just kind of wanted to quickly review about FPTO if you haven't been here, the things we focus on. I like to kind of break it down into 3 categories. The first is community. We really are rooted in passion, and we want to be a place where everyone feels welcome. I think I said this at the beginning of last semester. If I do one thing, I hope that I make you feel welcome here, genuinely, because you are. Opportunities, we have a ton up right now. Things that we will continue doing, community service, observation hours, aid positions, volunteering, you name it, we probably have it, and if we don't, you should let me know so we can. And then the last one is resources. I'll talk more about this in a second, but everything you see on this slide, we have a lot going on this semester that we're going to pick up on. So just a reminder about the resources that we do have. We have a new thing this semester where we have resources on demand on the website. So a few topics that we didn't have time to cover in GBM, they're available in PDF format on the website. I did just make a new one about how to get involved in research because I saw from the membership form that that was a requested topic. And then the ones that we had of last semester, so why statements, guide to observation hours, and resumes as well. Volunteer and aid opportunities still exist in the newsletter. We do have people contact us various times throughout the semester, so if you're looking for something, definitely check there. And then also go ahead and look at that resource. There's some kind of like linked places you can look as well, and if you have any questions, any of us are happy to help you out as well. And then the last one is we do have FAQs on the website. If you're scared to come up to one of us, don't be, but if you want a more instant answer or you don't feel like sending an email, there's a chance it might be up there. If there's something that you feel like should be up there, maybe your question will make it. All right, so I'm going to pass it over to our secretaries.
Hi guys, I'm one of your secretaries. My name's Andrea.
And I'm Amanda.
We just wanted to go over the membership form. So every semester you have to refill out the membership form. It's linked here if anyone would like to peep it right now. To become a member, we have a distinction. So there's an active member and a member. To become a member, you just got to fill this out and pay your dues. To become an active member, we want you to attend point opportunities to ultimately gain 8 points. And the way that we verify your 8 points is through submitting photo proof, which is on the point submission form, which is found in various places on the website. We'll send it out occasionally after point opportunities. So that's kind of what's up. Talia, how do I click?
Oh, the arrows.
Oh, the arrows?
Yeah.
Oh. Other one. Yeah. All right, and then just to remind people how to submit points, again, here's the QR code for the point submission form. We want to stress that point opportunities have to be submitted between the 12/12/25 and then 5/6, which is like the last day of classes deadline. Anything that's not submitted within that time frame, unfortunately, will not count, and you will get an email from us saying, hey, unfortunately, this point opportunity isn't valid. It's the exact same format as last year. We want to encourage everyone to be, when you send a photo, to be in the photo so that we confirm that you're actually there and that it's not just a picture your roommate sent you or something. Just makes it easier for us to just keep it fair across the board for all members. And then each individual point opportunity needs its own submission. Please do not submit multiple images at once. Submit each point opportunity individually. Take a picture for proof. And if there's any questions, we'll both be here after the meeting. Please stop by and ask us. If there's something that you think can make this process easier, we'd love to hear your feedback. But for right now, this is what we got going. And then here's a little example of good point submissions versus ones that you're gonna get an email from us and it's gonna be frustrating. So here's a great example from GBM submission. We love seeing the dual camera on Snapchat. We think it's super creative. Whoever started doing that, you're kind of awesome. But that's one look. We see Talia. We see the background of the GBM, so we know it was that specific GBM. Or this one, we can see we know that it's GBM. This one, I don't know, maybe your friend submitted this lovely picture of Talia and you're also submitting it too. We don't know. Here's one for an athletic event, ooh, Snapdragon Stadium, gorgeous. And then we can see your lovely faces. This one, maybe your boyfriend went, I don't know. Here we have lovely Ashley. Look, she's teaching a class. We can see the candles and the weights and the exercise band. I know she was there. But telling me that you signed up, what if you got sick or you just decided not to go? I don't know. or maybe you got some like Instagram, someone's cute aesthetic picture. So my point is that please be in the photo. It makes it so much easier for us. You'll easily get your point. There'll be no contesting, emails, none of that nonsense. So just want to throw that out there.
All right, and then someone I know from Northwestern DPT is conducting this research, and so we're offering half a point if you fill out this survey. It took me less than 5 minutes. I know it says 10-15, but that is not true. So you'll get half a point if you scan the QR code, fill out the survey, send us a screenshot that you did that, and we'll put that in for you.
If you do this right now, you'll earn 1.5 points today. So it's super easy to start moving towards that 8. We also wanted to throw out that on the website, as a member, you can see the point opportunities document that Talia just recently updated. Please take a look at that if you're stressing out about point opportunities. Talia updates that very frequently. She gives us a lot of opportunities to become active, so just want to also throw that out there. Thank you guys. This is Ashley. Oh, next we're going to hear from our social events coordinator, Ashley.
Hi everyone, I'm Ashley. I'm our social events coordinator. On Friday, February 6th, we have a Mission Beach social. It's snowing somewhere. We're in California and in San Diego. This is awesome. We're gonna take advantage of it. So bring a towel and blanket. There'll be pizza and drinks. The RSVP form and carpool sheet is in the newsletter, and it's worth 1 point. So I hope to see you all there.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Amelia, I'm the treasurer. First of all, don't forget to pay your dues. I take either cash or PayPal only, that's it. For class of 2026, we are doing chords, which are gonna be $9, and you have to be an active member for 2 semesters. And then the stoles, that's an example of what the stoles are gonna look like. They're gonna be less than 50. The more people that order them, the less they're gonna cost. You have to have an active semester for 3 semesters, and that's a link for the form. It's gonna close this Friday. So if you want one, do it now, or this week at least. Thanks.
Hi everyone, my name is Jake. I'm the Community Service Coordinator.
And I'm Sydney, the social media coordinator.
So we are our FPTO's captains for Dance Marathon, which is kind of our big community service event kind of up until February. So Dance Marathon is raising money for Radies Children's Hospital through fundraising and student participation. And the littlest bit helps many children who are in need at this hospital. So what you guys can do, if you already joined our team, I think there's about 31 people, please make sure you can hit that $50 minimum so you can attend main event. And if you're still interested in joining, you can still join. The QR code right there is the link to our page where you can join it. And you can join our team and start fundraising. So our goal up until main event is to hit 50 members and $500 raised.
And then next week we have a Miracle Week, which is the last kind of push week for Dance Marathon. So on Thursday you can do, or hi Jake for half a point. He'll be there from 11 to 12. I think it's Hefner Hall, outside of Hefner Hall. And then there's some other events that are there. There's a Rady panel, and I'm 99% sure there's a physical therapist that's going to be there to talk to everyone. And then there's going to be there's some other events throughout the week. And then the big event is on Saturday, February 21st. It is from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m., so show up whenever you can. You don't have to stay the whole time. There's music, dancing, 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So whenever you can go, it'd be great. You can get half a point for attending as well.
Yeah, and then like I said, you do not have to stay the whole time, and we look forward to seeing you there.
Yes.
And feel free to talk to us after if you have any questions about that or community service. Thank you all.
All right, so that's all for announcements. Today what we have planned for you is a lovely alumni panel. So all of our guest speakers today were actually on the board of FPTO in their time in their undergrad, and they are now current students in SDSU's DPT program. So I'm so excited to introduce them all to you. Yeah, we'll get started with the lovely Ashley.
Alrighty, what's up guys? I'm Ashley. That was crazy hearing in your time because I feel old. Alright, what about me? Okay, I'm a first year in the DPT program here. I'm originally from Reno, Nevada. I went to undergrad here, stayed here, the whole thing. My journey to PT school kind of probably similar to what brought your interest into PT. I was playing a sport in high school. I later was diagnosed with a heart condition, which allowed me to not play the sport anymore. And then that piqued my interest in PT because I ended up needing PT. And then from there, I volunteered in high school, volunteered all the way through undergrad, and then, yeah, kind of sparked my interest. And then I ended up here, so yeah. My undergrad advice, I know it sounds cheesy, you've probably heard it 1,000 times, but say yes to absolutely every opportunity you can get. That is where I built connections, that's where you meet people. I honestly believe that I'm a personality hire for PT school. I probably wouldn't have gotten in if it weren't for my connections. So highly recommend, say yes to everything you can and just put yourself out there. My favorite PT school experience, probably being surrounded by 40 people who are just so similar to you, and even the second years, third years, everybody in the program, they're just so similar to you, and it's really just building a little family. So yeah, that's all about me.
Hi guys, I'm Kate. I'm also a first year DPT student. I just graduated last year, so very fresh into school. I'm originally from LA, Sherman Oaks, if people are familiar with the area. For my journey to PT school, I kind of similar to Ashley, I didn't really write about it, but went to undergrad, applied right out of undergrad and got in, piqued my interest as being a dancer as I grew up. But what I wrote here is that it's important to prioritize what you value in the program. I think being an FPTO and being an aspiring physical therapist, you're looking at all these different programs, and you really want to find a program that fits your needs. Fully transparency, everyone can Google a salary of a physical therapist, so price is a very big thing for PT school. I did get into a few schools, and I was deciding ultimately between what the different schools had to offer. I always knew I wanted to go to SDSU, but when I was given the opportunity to go to other schools, I was like, wait, let me actually look at these options and see, what do they have to offer, and if they are double or triple the price, what are they saying is their reasoning for that, and kind of their justification for it. That's kind of what I was seeing there, research the program, see what you want in a program, and make sure that you make that decision based on your needs. My undergrad advice, this kind of came from my first 2 semesters of PT school. I don't know how I studied in undergrad and somehow got through it, but PT school is a whole different ballgame, just really fast-paced learning. So my biggest advice is studying for a long time is not really efficient. It's how much you're getting done in that time. So I just put little things. Now that I'm reading it, it's kind of boring tips, but I do feel if I did these things in undergrad, my first 2 semesters of PT school wouldn't have been as daunting as they were when we came into our first lecture, and I was like, what just happened? What did they just talk about for 2 hours? So that's kind of my tip, try to reduce your stress and be efficient with the time that you're spending. And then my favorite PT school experience is becoming a family with everyone. As Ashley mentioned, you're kind of thrown into this group of people who are all so similar to you. So you find your people, you get to hang out with them every day. Coming to school doesn't feel as much as a burden as it is yeah, we have to sit and listen to lectures, but we're around people who we enjoy being around, and it's a pleasant experience. And then also patient day. This is something that we just got to do at the end of our last semester. I believe it's something we do every semester. We basically have patients come in. I think I had a few FPTO recruits come in, so thanks for that. But yeah, basically we got to shadow and help out in an eval with a patient, and I think being back in PT school, we're not really exposed to patient interaction much anymore, as we are just full time in class. So I think being able to just get to talk to a patient and remind yourself oh, this is actually what I want to do, and maybe not the anatomy lectures. So that was really nice to just get that exposure, and I'm excited to you get to do more as you go more through the program. So yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Alina. I am from the Bay, yes, that's me as Josh. I'm from the Bay Area, more specifically Alameda if you're local. I came to SDSU for undergrad because it was warm. And I was a first-gen student. I didn't know the slightest about PT school. I just knew that I wanted to be a physical therapist. Didn't know what GRE was, didn't know how long DPT school was, and I stumbled across FPTO as a freshman. And every single opportunity that I had in undergrad was from FPTO. So goes to show that you're in the right place. I took a gap year just because I felt like I needed one more year to save money and just figure things out. So if you feel like you need the year off, I promise you, I was scared that I was gonna like fall off the ball and just like forget how to study. You have to learn how to redo it anyways, so it really does not matter. My undergrad advice is just beyond academics, what makes you different. Yes, having a good GPA and having all your prereqs set is important, but the committee is gonna look at your application and say, check, GPA is good, check, you have all your classes. The one thing that you will have in common with every other person that applies to PT school is that you're a student. So what makes you stand out? You know, you don't have to just join clubs and do things that, because it relates to PT school. Do fun things, similar to what Ashley said, try different things that make you more human, and it'll make you more appealing. And then finally, my favorite PT school experience, at the end of our first year in our Therics class, we all go to the Aquaplex and we get to practice aquatic therapy. And honestly, it's just a really fun day and a good way to tie in the end of our first year. Yeah.
Hi. Sorry, it's a picture of me from high school. I've had the super flu for like 2 weeks, and so I've been like brain dead. So if I sound weird, then that's why. My name's Gracie. I'm a second year in Alina's cohort. I'm from Northern California. I'm like an hour and a half north of San Francisco, if anyone knows where that is. It's not like up in the Redwoods, and it's not the Bay Area. It's right in the middle. My journey to PT school. So I took a kinesiology class. Like Alina, I'm a first-gen student. None of my family had ever been to college before, and so I didn't really know what opportunities were out there, what majors like really were offered even. All that I knew is that I like to help people, and I was like kind of interested in the medical field. But I took a kines class in high school, and my teacher at the time was like, I think you should go into physical therapy. Like, I think you would be really good. I was like, what is that? I have no idea. Never had to, I should have gone to physical therapy for many injuries as an athlete. Never did, and then I appreciated the profession even more after that. And so, because of her advice, I applied for kines here at SDSU, got in, and I stuck with it, luckily. I know a lot of people change majors, and that's like completely normal. But yeah, I stuck with it. I still love it. Graduated, last year, in 2024. So yeah, I went right in. I didn't take a gap year. Like kind of what Alina was touching on, if you feel like you need a gap year, absolutely take it, and you can use it to your advantage. I did not, and senior year was kind of a lot, you know, and it will be a lot, it will be stressful. But then if you feel like you're ready for it, just go for it. It's totally up to you, and there's no right or wrong for anyone's journey. So that's my journey. Undergrad advice, don't take yourself too seriously. I look back and I'm like, damn, I should have had so much more fun during undergrad. I was kind of, like Ashley was saying, like saying yes to everything, but too much. It was just too stressful. So prioritize, and like Alina was saying, prioritize what is going to make you unique and stuff that you actually enjoy. Like, don't volunteer at some place because you think it's gonna look good. Like, be passionate about it, because in the long run, your passion is going to show in your application or your interviews, whatever you do, whatever you put forth to these programs, and they can tell when you're kind of lying or not. So do pursue what you are passionate about. It can be something totally unrelated to PT. They just want to see who you are and what your personality is. And ditto what everyone has said so far. My favorite PT school experience, I say the fam, it's my cohort. Like we have all said before, like the family that you create with your cohort is so special, and that's like particularly one reason why I chose SDSU was because the cohort size is so small that you really do become like a small family. PT school has been like a really up and down journey for me, and my cohort has been there like no one else has in my life, like ever. I've never had such great friends as I have made in this cohort, and yeah, it's amazing. And it's like a trauma bond, like, you know, you're gonna go through some hard stuff, it's going to be difficult, but at the end of the day, like, you have 39 other people there with you that will support you in your journey. So it's very special, and I can't wait for all of you guys to experience experience it. So.
Hi everyone. I'm Dana. I'm the third year from the Bay Area. Oh my god, a long time ago. Alina and I are like, oh guys. But I'm gonna sound like a broken record a little bit because everyone covered so much of this beautifully already. But I applied my senior year, and as I'm sure maybe some of you are in this position right now, or you're anticipating being in this position, I was really nervous, and the worst part was once I had submitted everything, it was out of my hands. I couldn't work on it anymore. It was done. That was the worst part for me. But you just really have to trust that whatever your path is gonna look like, if this is something you're passionate about and you really care about, you are gonna end up being a physical therapist. So just kind of lean on that when things, I think, get stressful, and because you can only control so much, truly. My undergrad advice is, as other people have said, make sure your experiences matter to you and you're not just trying to replicate other people's, successful applications. It's great taking all the information you can about what schools are looking for and what programs are looking for, and like put that in your pocket, but also you need to do things that you can stand behind ultimately in your applications and just in general, because why are you passionate about this? And then my favorite PT school experience, field trips, like we have one up there. We get to see some really cool things and get to access some really cool spaces, which is exciting. And then patient days, yeah, we have one every semester. It kind of reminds you why you're doing this. And also always being introduced to so much new information. It feels like trying to drink out of a fire hose a lot of the time, but it's also something that I think I'm like really grateful for, to have access to all that information and education as well. So, yeah.
All right, we're gonna do a Q&A with our panelists, so we're gonna bring some chairs up to the front.
I brought that chair. Like it's full of mine. I'm like, you just get front row. Oh, sure, yeah.
All right, so if you have any questions for
If you guys have any questions, just raise your hand and then we'll call on you and they'll call on you and then you can answer.
Did most of you guys do like aid opportunities before PT school, or was it more volunteer? What experience did you have before?
Yes, I was an aide and I also volunteered.
Yeah, I did both, and I made sure, I think what's important for applying to PT school is they want to see variation in what you're doing. So like, if you do an inpatient aid job, make sure you're doing an outpatient volunteer at some point. Like, make sure you're getting hours, but you're getting hours in different settings, because that's super important.
Yeah, just echoing that, I would say like, if you're interested in a specific field of physical therapy, do whatever they allow you to do. Like, I wanted to observe pediatrics, and a lot of times they don't have aides, and a lot of times they don't really let anyone, but I found this clinic where they were like, you can come and observe like on Thursdays, and I was like, I'm there. So like, if you are trying to find those like kind of more niche fields, a lot of times they don't hire aides, whereas like standard outpatient ortho has aides. So if you're interested in those niche fields, like do the volunteering. I know it's obviously not paid, but you can also be an aide in outpatient ortho. So
Yeah. Yes, I did work as an aide and I volunteered. Kind of going off of what Kate said, like, don't be afraid, and like we mentioned earlier, don't be afraid to put yourself out there, and be adamant and persistent, low-key annoying, but like, those opportunities won't go, like, they don't come to you. You have to go to them, and so no one is gonna say no to like a passionate person, in my opinion. And so there's a fine line between annoying and persistent, but you can find it, and yeah, just put yourself out there.
Yeah, I did both. I started by volunteering in peds, and then in my gap year I worked as an aide at an outpatient ortho. And for me, I got all of my aid opportunities from these guys. I got mine from one of the presidents at the time, and then when I was done, I passed it down to another FPTO member. So great resources all around the room.
For sure.
What does your guys' typical week look like, balancing like studying and also like a personal life? I know like, I forget which one of you guys said it's like more important to like how well you're studying versus like time like that you're studying.
Mine looks a little different right now. Yeah, I'm in clinicals, so I think it's obviously very intense, like classwork, and they'll speak to that. But it is. I think you get a little more work-life balance back when you're third year in clinicals. There's something to like. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and something to look forward to. But yeah, that looks a little different because you're working like 40-hour work week. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna say personal life. What is that? Currently, it is so important to take care of your health, though. I found myself during the summer and during the fall semester. Now we're in spring, but during fall and summer semester, I was not sleeping, not eating. It was crazy, and I really started to feel it. Test scores went down, as you can imagine. And I feel like I really learned from that, and like taking that into the spring, I've been trying to prioritize maybe sleep a little bit more, because I'm not even kidding, I was getting like 4 hours like every night. It was crazy. Don't do that. But I would say just make sure you're cutting it off. Like I have now learned I need a deadline. Like I cut it off at 8 p.m. every night now. I exercise, I eat, I just try and prioritize myself a little bit more. So when you go to PT school, make sure you do that. Make sure you're prioritizing the healthy stuff, because I mean, practice what you preach. So
Yeah. As for like our typical week, it depends on the semester. So I can give you guys an example of our current one. We're in class Monday and Wednesdays from 9:30 to 4:30, and Tuesdays, Thursdays from 7:30 to 1:30, and then Fridays 10 to 12:40. This is like, I would say, our first semester where we're in class a lot more. Definitely our first coming in summer, it's a lot like just shorter days, so you kind of feel like you still have like the whole day to like go home and like study and then do things that you care about, whereas now it feels like we're getting out and it's dark outside and you're ready to go to sleep. So that's kind of our like school week, but then like I said, every semester it's different. I know like for the second years, I think you guys just end at different times every day, so it really just depends on the semester. But I think the biggest thing is like, I've started to like, if I want to do something over the weekend, I have to like schedule it, and then so I can't like cancel it. Or like if I want to like see my friend on Tuesday, I'll text her and I'll be like, hey, like let's do Saturday dinner, and I'm not gonna cancel it. So I'll make sure I get whatever I need to do done on Saturday, but I'm gonna go to the dinner because I scheduled it and I also need a brain break. So I think prioritizing that you're a human being, you need social interaction that's not with your cohort mates, and even if it is outside of school, like not studying. And so I think a big thing is just making sure you make the time for it, because there is time for it realistically, and that's kind of why I touched on like the studying balance, because I noticed in the summer I could like sit for like 6 hours and I'd be like, I don't really know like what I got out of those 6 hours, whereas going into fall I was like, okay, what I could have done in so much, like I can do it in so much less time if I'm like intentional with it. And so that makes me more like motivated, like, well, I can do other things because I was more efficient with my time. So
Yeah, I agree. I feel like for second year, it's pretty, I mean, it's all intense to be honest, but like I always just kind of tell my like friends and family and whatever, I'm like, it's a 40-hour work week at school, you know, like you are there for 8 hours every day. That being said, you do have like breaks and stuff in between, so it's not like you're getting lectured at for 8 hours, but like you are on campus for that long. I will say I'm like Kate, where I will pack my day full of like school stuff, and I was like that during undergrad, which is why I said I wish I had more fun. I will pack my day full of school stuff if I don't schedule anything. So like I will schedule my social time, I will like schedule gym time and everything, because you need that. You are a human first, and like to be quite honest, all of like the grades like matter and everything to a certain extent at some point, but like you are a person, you are not a PT student, and like that can sometimes consume your personality and your identity. You have to remember like to be grounded and like, I don't know, just remember who you are, take care of yourself. That is the utmost important. And really, like, if you don't know, if you didn't cover a whole chapter like for a test or something, it doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't. And so have a cutoff time, be like, I'm gonna stop studying at 9 p.m. and that's that, and if I don't know it, I don't know it, because it really doesn't matter at the end of the day, so.
Yeah, I agree with everything everyone said. I work part-time on top of school. I've been working since day one, which has been a blessing and a curse because from the start I had to figure out how to make things work because I also had this other priority that I needed to do. So I think it's what you make of it, truly. If you want to be a study beast and go 8 hours a day, you can do that and have no social life if that's your jam. Me personally, I just talked about in class that being a student is like the least interesting part about me. So I make sure to really emphasize, okay, I have 4 hours to do this and then I have to go to work, and after that I'm putting on the pit and having a soda. So like every day is going to be as you take it. I know for our schedule this semester, it's a little all over the place. Like today we have been on campus since 7:30. On Wednesday we get out at 10. So it varies, but it feels like a job more than school. But it's fun and you come to love it. So
Yeah, and I will say, like, your schedule is packed, but you can find find time for everything, like working. Me and Alina both work, and we have been working pretty much since the beginning of school. You can, and we also have, like, we do extracurriculars as well. We participate in ASPT. I don't know if you guys have touched on that yet, but it's we work with adaptive athletes from the school. So, like, although it's a lot, you still want to participate and, like, do more because you love it. And, like, at the end of the day, it's like what we're here for. So it is daunting, it is a lot, but you'll, like, take a step back and be like, wow, I'm so blessed, I'm so lucky to be doing all of this, so, you know.
Yeah, classes do start before 8 a.m. Believe it or not.
We have a 7 a.m.
It's
7 a.m.
crazy.
on a Friday. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
In the back?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know this is not, like, you guys might not know this, but I switched majors and I'm a junior. I just switched majors, and I'm still on track to graduate in 2 years. So I only have like the 2 years. And I was wondering, what's like your best advice to kind of like still like stand out in applications? Because I haven't been doing stuff for physical therapy since freshman year. I was like a business major, so like I don't have any experience. What's your best advice to like be kind of like caught up to the people that have been in the major all 4 years?
Yeah, I'll say I came in undeclared. I was undeclared until they like forced me to declare because I was afraid to. They were like, you can't keep taking these classes undeclared. Okay. But maybe I'm not speaking for all of us, but I think people have similar situations. I didn't start doing stuff till like junior year, really, in terms of like shadowing or being an aide. And some people even start later than that, so I don't like think that you need to really catch up. Honestly, I think you're probably in a good spot, especially if you're here, like you're thinking about the things that you're gonna need to do. But yeah, I think you have plenty of time to start like shadowing the places you're interested in or volunteering, getting hours, and even like the fact that you changed your major and pivoted to this is something really interesting too, and that makes you stand out of like why you decided to choose this. So.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I started as a biology major. I don't know what I was doing with that, but thank God I switched over. No offense to the biology majors out there. It's just hard. But yeah, so there's plenty of time to do stuff. And like I've said prior, I think it's more important not like the amount of hours or the amount of stuff you have on your application. It's just about like Gracie said, the passion that you have for that certain thing, or even like the variation of the stuff that you have on your application. Like, I know I actually started volunteering in high school, so I did have a lot of hours, but my resume, I will say, had a lot of different things on there. I had aquatic therapy, I had peds, I had inpatient, outpatient, like, I just had it, like, very all over the place. So I think that there's no catching up that you need to do. I just think it's important to maybe just put yourself out there in different areas and different things and find something that you're passionate about, and that'll speak for you and speak more. So
Yeah, I mean, kind of just what they said. I think if you're kind of looking for something that like you definitely want to focus on, I would say maybe, I know it's definitely hard to, if you don't have time to volunteer during the semester, something I did was I utilized the breaks it obviously doesn't let you have like super fun vacations or trips and stuff, but like summer breaks and winter breaks, like if a clinic lets you, like go every day, like if you can, because then you have like a good chunk of hours and you got that experience, and then you know the next break you can try different like type of clinic or something. So I would say if you can, just utilize that time, or even like spring break. If a clinic says like you can come in one time, like that's still like useful and for you to see it. So I would say just try to find those opportunities, and like everyone said, FPTO is a great place for that, to get all those opportunities.
Yeah, I would say ditto to everything, and you are already unique in your story, so use that to your advantage when you're talking in your applications and stuff. Something obviously moved you enough to switch your entire life plan, so talk about it. Talk about, get deep, get emotional. Like I got like super personal in my essays. They don't share it with anyone, they read it, but you can be vulnerable, because like that will get you a long way, not just in your application, but as a PT as well. You have to be vulnerable with your patients in order to connect with them, and so practicing that now would be a good thing. So use it to your advantage.
Yeah, I agree. I think changing your major can actually be a really big strength. I don't know about other cohorts, but for some reason the engineering to physical therapy pipeline is really strong. And my professors, we consistently talk about it because it's so interesting, and I feel like it intrigues people as to why you wanted to switch. In terms of feeling rushed, I mean, personally, I took a gap year for a similar reason. I just didn't feel like I was where I wanted to be when it came down to senior year and I had to decide if I wanted to do PT-CAS. Looking back, I have no regrets. So if you think that's a good option for you, it's definitely out there, and it's a good way to save money in between. But yeah, I think it could be an interesting point of your application, and like I said, they want to see uniqueness, so it can be a definite strength.
Where do you guys see yourself after PT school?
Tough question.
Do you want to go into travel physical therapy, or what do you guys look for specialized in for the opportunities?
I thought I was going to be a sports pro. I was an athlete for most of my life, came in, wanted to do ortho, and my first clinical rotation was at a SNF, which was my worst nightmare, and now I want to do inpatient. So it's a crazy shift, but again, it emphasizes the idea of keeping your mind open to new things, because I never in a million years would have thought that I wanted to work in a hospital. So I don't really know for sure, but I don't foresee myself in the sports world at all anymore, which is a crazy statement to make. But yeah, it's for me.
Yeah, I went in, same kind of thing, wanted to do ortho, been an athlete my entire life, and so it was just natural. I did an outpatient ortho rotation and I loved it, but the more I take like a look at myself, I feel like my personality can go a lot of different ways, so I'm more undecided now than I was when I started. But that is also a great thing. You really absorb all of the information that's being presented to you, and I think an open mind wherever you are at in your journey is fantastic, and so yeah, I'm not sure quite yet.
Yeah, I think as the girl said, a lot of people come in with like this mindset, and as of right now, mine is working with an athletic population. But through all your classes and all our clinical experiences, I definitely think it can change. I think I've talked to more people who have changed than they have stayed with their original interest. So as of right now, I would like to work with athletes in the future, but I'm also very open to exploring the different avenues of PT, just because there's a lot that you don't get to see until you're like out in your clinicals and being presented with them.
Yeah, I would say I don't really have like a top. I have a top 3 that I'm interested in, and I'm hoping to like figure it out through clinicals and stuff like that. But I would say my top 3 are sports, inpatient, and cardio pulm, which are all over the place. They're very different, so I really don't know. I will say I work as an aide at Sharp Grossmont Hospital and I love it. So there's that. I also loved working with sports and with athletes. So yeah, kind of all over the board, but hoping to figure it out later. I think the greatest thing about PT and getting your doctorate in physical therapy is you can go anywhere you want. I knew a PT who did a peds rotation, loved it, did peds after college, and then switched over really quick to go to outpatient. Like, you can go anywhere with it, and that's what I love about it, so, yeah.
Similar story to a lot of other people here, but I know I like outpatient ortho, but my past 2 rotations have been in neuro, which I think I was really like intimidated by, but I always was interested in, and then the time, is kind of now like in clinicals to explore different settings and see what you are interested in, what you're not interested in, and so I kind of pushed to see if I could do rotations in neuro, and I've really loved it, so I see myself ending up there. And I think the really nice thing about PT school is people have described it as like an inch deep and a mile wide. Like, you are exposed to so much different stuff, so many different fields. And you mentioned like travel PT, you see so many guest speakers too come in and talk about like what settings they're in, what fields they're in, that you're really exposed to a lot. So if you are interested in PT but you don't know like what field, or you get into PT school and you're like, oh my god, I don't know where I want to go with this. I have a lot of classmates that still are doing their rotations and they're like, I like a lot of different things. So it's great. It's great because you have a lot of different settings you can work in and avenues. So yeah.
What are your guys' opinions on residency programs right now?
That's also a very happy question.
I can kick it off. We recently actually just met with we had the options to join a program held by UCSF to talk about residency. At the beginning, I was anti-residency just because I cannot fathom doing another year of school. But after learning a little bit more about it, I think that there's a lot of misconceptions about residency that were proved to be false. For example, I thought the pay was low. It's not. And you get a lot more practice in a very specific clinical setting. For me, because I am undecided, I don't want to commit to a residency right away, but I definitely could foresee myself in the future, if I fall in love with something, going back and doing a residency later.
Yeah, definitely the same as Alina. I think there's a lot of misconceptions about it. I still don't really know my full opinion on it. Same as Alina though, because I'm still so like unsure of what I want to do after I graduate. I don't think I want to commit to anything quite yet, or like very soon after graduation. I will say that like, I don't know, throughout this entire process, like in my gut, I have just like followed it and like what I feel is right for myself, and like ignore all the outside noise and everything. And there are going to be people with strong opinions about everything, about your journey, what you should do, or I mean even like a technique that you're going to learn. I think if you follow what really you want to do and what you feel is right, I always think that gut instinct is like your like true, I don't know, self. So listen to it, and yeah, don't be afraid to do something different, and don't be afraid to say F you to like everyone else, because you are your own person and your journey is your journey. So
Honestly, I don't know a ton about it. We're like not, I mean, our professors like kind of mention it here and there, but we don't know a lot about it. I actually have like on my to-do list to like research what they are and like kind of what are the benefits and not. So I would just kind of say like, if it's something you're interested in, kind of how I talked about earlier, make sure it's like what's right for you and do that research to see if it aligns with like what your goals are.
Yeah, same. Don't know much about it. One of our professors harps on it. He's super excited about it. I think the way that he has explained it, he's explained it as like an opportunity to learn more. Nobody's perfect, and you're gonna be seeing patients. This is like a legit situation where you have somebody's lives in your hand. So I just think that if there is an opportunity to learn and be better, I would probably take it. So we'll see when it gets there. I don't really know yet, but if it is an opportunity to learn more and be better in something, I'm gonna take it. So
Yeah, for sure. I think really well said by everybody, and I think ultimately I've seen great physical therapists that have gone through residencies, and I've seen great physical therapists that did not go through residencies. So you just have to know yourself and what your learning style is and what is going to make you the best. Some people that's just like being a new grad, doing Con Ed, and some people it's going to residency, and so yeah, I think it's up to the individual for sure.
To add on to that, I actually talked to a different professor than Ken, one of them, that really advocates for it. Because like right now, deep down, I feel like it's not for me. But again, once I graduate, who knows? But I was talking to a different professor, and I was like, I don't want to feel like I'm being complacent, like a complacent physical therapist. Like I do want to be great. I want to be the best that I can be for my patients. Does that mean that like I'm being complacent? And he was like, absolutely not. And he was, because at the end of the day, like you have to take into what you want your life to look like at the same time. And so doing residency, like I'm not saying that I'm gonna have babies anytime soon, okay? But like family and starting a family and like just starting to like settle down and like doing like the big girl life stuff is like very important to me. That's why I got into physical therapy in the first place. So I was like, I kind of don't want to put another year of my life on pause for a residency. And he was like, that's totally fair. If it doesn't fit, then it doesn't fit. That doesn't mean that you're not going to be a good physical therapist. So yeah, take that what you will, but yeah.
Thank you. We have time for one more question.
Hi, what's been like the most intimidating or like culture shock of school?
That's a great question.
I have them. I mean, the course load, like, it's kind of the most like best way to put it. The amount of things that you're being taught is like a lot, and just even in one lecture segment or one class that you go to, you come. Dana referred to it earlier. It feels like you're drinking from a garden hose. Like I think I heard that when I was an undergrad too, and I was like, whoa, is that something I want to do? And now I'm here doing it. So it is very intimidating, but I just tell myself like, if everyone can do it, so can I. And you know, like we're all in it together. As Gracie mentioned, trauma bonded. So yes, the course load is a lot, but it's manageable and you're able to do it. So for me, that was the biggest shock. Like I said, I went here for undergrad, so kind of going through all the similar classes that you guys are going through for undergrad. It was just the pace at which things were taught, and just how quickly you kind of had to like know it for like a quiz in 2 days or something. Which in a way, it does keep you on like in check with yourself, because in undergrad it was like, you know, 4 exams over the semester. If you wanted to, you could wait till the week of the exam to cram, but you can't do that. In PT school, there's just way too much content. So when I started, I was like, oh my God, there's so many quizzes. It's like kind of a pain. But then now it was actually like the easiest way to keep yourself in check without like doing it yourself. Like, you know, you have a quiz on Tuesday, like you gotta be prepared for it. And that's from content that was just taught like a few days ago. So I think just that for me was the biggest shock, but it kind of helps you like make a new routine for yourself.
I think for me, in addition to that, it was being in a room with professionals, doctors every single day. You are interacting with doctors every single day. Again, kind of as a first gen student, I'm like, I don't deserve to be here. I feel like I'm in the wrong room. Same thing with just your fellow classmates. Like, you're surrounded by the top of your class, and in all of these universities, like these are the best people that they have chosen for this program. So I felt like, whoa, I don't belong here. You'll learn that everyone, as far as your classmates, everyone has their strengths. Whether it's like you can memorize a textbook, great for you. I can talk to like literally anybody and have a conversation with them. So everyone has their specific things that they are good at. It doesn't have to be like the great book. And then talking to professionals, they're just people at the end of the day. Like, they're talking about their days, how tired they are, how annoying their kids are sometimes. Like, you know, like they're just people. But they're just people that are there for you and that want to help you. So don't be intimidated by that either.
I think for me, in PT school, you kind of live in the uncomfort zone. In undergrad, I feel like you get into a really good routine. You're like, okay, I know I can cram for this exam in 2 days, then I'm gonna go out on a Friday, and then I'm gonna have brunch or like whatever. But in grad school, I don't know, I thought in my brain when I went to PT school I was going to be super confident and know my stuff, and then I get there and I'm humbled in the best way every day. And like when we talk about patient days, my first patient day terrified me, and then you take a deep breath and then you do it. And it's like that every day, and I've come to really appreciate the challenge, and I think that it's pushed me to grow a lot as a future PT and also just a person. So I think, yeah, living somewhere a little uncomfortable the past few years was the biggest culture shock for me, but I've come to really enjoy it. Keeps you on your toes.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna second what Gracie had to say too. Second everybody, but specifically Gracie's. I think that imposter syndrome, that's what they call it, is a real thing, and you don't feel like you belong there. You're sitting next to all these very accomplished, smart people. You're getting taught by all these professionals. It's very intimidating. I think that was something I wasn't prepared for, that's for sure. Because, I thought I was the smartest kid in the classroom, like undergrad was easy, whatever, and then you get there and it's like, whoa, step back. Humbled every day. It was very hard to take in at first. I think after like the first summer and the initial fall start, we all started to realize, okay, this isn't competition, and everybody just started to boost each other up, and that was a huge turn because I think that made us all very strong, and I now feel like I belong. And you just got to know going into PT school that you belong to, you're there for a reason, and they chose you for a reason, and you just got to own it. So yeah.
So true. I really don't even know if I have like anything to add, because yeah, it's a ton of work and a lot of imposter syndrome, but also the antithesis to all of that is like, why not you? Like, just tell yourself, like, why, you know what? I think everyone else can do it. I'm looking around my class, I'm like, oh, they all have this, like, why not me also? Like, all of you were there for a reason, but it is definitely a culture shock, but we don't say all of this to scare you, just so you guys are aware what you're walking into, but
You're gonna love it.
Yeah.
Best time of your life.
Awesome. Let's give a big round of applause for